All right, guys, issue number 5 that I see in every company I have ever bought. This is a 100% failure rate on every company we've ever bought, is misalignment of incentives. So what I mean by that, really honestly what I mean by that is hourly pay is the worst thing in the world. Hourly pay and salary just suck as an incentive structure. So you think about this, you need your technician to generate revenue on his calls, find problems to solve. Like, I'm not talking about pressuring homeowners, right? I'm talking about you need to find an actual problem and present it to the homeowner in such a way that they're inclined to take action, okay? I'm not talking about pressuring or anything like that. I'm talking about effective problem solving. And you need that to happen on every call, but the technician is paid hourly. And so let's say you've got a tech who's on a call, he's running a maintenance call, and he finds an overamping blower motor, okay? It's overamping, it's not dead yet. And it's 130 degrees in that attic, okay? And he's making $27 an hour. So he has a choice. He can go tell the homeowner that his motor's overamping and in danger of failing, it hasn't failed yet. Or he can shut his mouth, the homeowner's not gonna know, and he can walk out the door and go on to his next call. So he's gonna make $27 an hour either way. If he does happen to sell a blower motor, which would benefit you greatly, then he has to go to the supply house, pick up the part, and then he's gonna spend the next hour and a half sweating in a 130-degree attic, swapping out that motor for $27 an hour. Or he can go sit in the air-conditioned truck for the next little while on his way to his next call, knock out another call, and make $27 an hour. What would you do? And so misaligned incentives are a cancer in your company. And what you need to do is you need to build a compensation structure that makes sure that your employee wins when you win. And so what we do in our company, and I would very strongly encourage everyone to do the same thing, is put everyone on 100% commission. And I know that sounds crazy, but trust me, there's a couple of things that happen here. Number one, your employee wins when you win. Your employee loses when you lose, which that's really important. If your technician walks out the door without bringing any money into the company, that's a really bad thing. And a lot of hourly technicians don't fully appreciate what a serious issue that is because they got paid. And I've had in my own company, this was one of the things that nearly drove us to bankruptcy in the first 2 years of our company, is that I have these technicians, especially the senior ones who are making $35 to $40 an hour, they'd go through their entire day and bring in $200. And their payroll for that day was $350, not counting the gas or the wear and tear on the vehicle, things like that. And it wasn't until I put everyone on commission that they all of a sudden started to notice when they had a $0 ticket. And so getting your incentives aligned correctly is absolutely mission critical to your success as a company because you need your people to want the same thing that you want. And that actually doesn't just extend to the technicians, it extends to all of our office staff. So all of our CSRs and the call center girls, they get paid for every call that they answer. We literally have a pay rate for every call that they answer, for every appointment that they book, for every outbound call that they make to a previous customer, like we talked about in the first section, and for every a call that they book to a previous customer who hasn't used us in 12 months. Those all have pay rates, and they're all strategically designed to motivate certain behavior. So we really want previous customers who haven't used us in a while to be reactivated. So we have a very high pay incentive for you to go and do that. And then if someone's calling us and you book an appointment, well, we consider that a little bit like shooting fish in a barrel. So that doesn't pay nearly as well because it didn't really require a lot of initiative. So what I'm trying to motivate is initiative on the part of my office staff. And so everything has a pay rate. So I'm happy to share my pay structure with you if that would be helpful, but every single task in my company has a dollar sign associated with it, and it's a carefully calculated dollar amount we're always refining it too. So sometimes we'll find a misincentive where people will neglect one task for another task because of either the effort to dollar ratio is better on that one than, so if this is if yeah, it pays well, but it's really high effort, they'll maybe neglect that one to go after the easy money. And so we're always kind of tweaking that. So sometimes we have to like reduce the pay rate on the easy task and increase the pay rate on the harder task to kind of get to balance out those incentives and motivate our people that way. So, but if your team is paid hourly, they have one incentive, and that is to ride out the clock. That's the only motivation they have. And I don't know how many of you have found your techs sitting in a truck smoking cigarettes right in the middle of the day. And that was a problem that I had for the first 2 years of my company, was walking into the shop and seeing guys just hanging out on the clock. You know, they're talking, I mean, yeah, they're talking about work, but it's nothing that's going to move the ball down the field. And so the way that I was able to kill that was by putting everyone on commission. Now, if you want to hang around the shop and talk for a while, it's your business, man. But I'm not paying you for it. And so aligning incentives is absolutely 100% mission critical. I would never even consider running a company with hourly employees. It would not even be an option. If you told me that I couldn't acquire a company unless I kept everyone on hourly, I would pass. It's just not even something I'm willing to do. But in my company, everybody wins and everyone loses for the same reasons, so we all want the same thing, which helps to avoid conflict when we have to start making difficult choices, because we all know that we're optimizing for the same outcome. So that's a huge one for me. I highly recommend that you investigate some similar plan. I know a lot of guys who do a low hourly rate with a higher commission, sorry, I said that wrong. They have a low hourly and a lower commission. I don't even bother with the hourly. I do straight commission. There is one exception to that. That would be situations where we just have to take care of the customer. Maybe it's a warranty call where the customer's already paid us, and we have to send a technician out to fix a problem that maybe one of our other techs caused. And so I will pay an hourly component for that because I can't ethically charge the customer for anything on that call, but I still need to take care of the technician who's taking care of my customer. But that would be like one of the only exceptions in my entire company. So anyway, guys, hope that helped.